Uh, we are now live streaming. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Neil with Portal to Ascension. Thank you so much for being here for this panel discussion that was an impromptu decision that we made last week that we're going to come on here because we were speaking about Atlantis, because this weekend, July 1st and 2nd, we're doing, well, definitely from what I've seen, being in this community of events and conferences, the largest dedication event to the subject of Atlantis ever. And not only dedication to it, reverence to it, but really full circle from the spiritual wisdom to the archaeological evidence to the cycles of time. So many different facets when it comes to Atlantis. So my panel here is called Awakening the Atlantean Within You, because so many golden nuggets were dropped last week in regards to why we're even putting this event on. So we decided to come and just share with you really what the intention is for what we're creating here. So I'm joined with some of my good friends and panelists here. We have Tamara, we have Alan Steinfeld from New Realities, we have Joan of Angels, and we also have Radha. And I just want to kind of just go around. Let's go around, start with you, Alan, and really just let's dive deeper. The first level of what the conversation should really be is, why is this event important? Why we're excited about this?
Thank you, Neil. How's my sound? Okay, I just adjusted it. All right, great. We're at a turning point history where at a sort of cycle, time is a cycle, so it comes around, but it's not just a circle, it's a spiral. So Atlantis reached a high peak of civilization, and then because of its internal, I would say, greed, human frailties, all the things that start to get in the way of evolution, people wanting things for themselves, it collapsed. And of course there were earth changes, and we're in a similar phase. And do we want to go the way of Atlantis went, where that incredible technology of that civilization was lost? Or do we want to build on what we have, save ourselves, the earth, change our vibrations, and make a new world? That's the threshold and the crossroads we're at. And I think it's really an important place in history to just take note. We don't want to repeat history. And what we learn from history, though, is that we learn nothing from history, is what I think Bertrand Russell said that. But anyway, it's our chance to go to another level of awakening, and we're right here. And this is a portal to ascension, Neil. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's definitely. Joan, how about you?
Well, I'm super excited about remembering Atlantis and being with a group of us who actually remember and who call it forward. It's like being with my Atlantean tribe. I remember now being a high priestess there. I know that any of you who are watching this who feel called to be on the Atlantis show to really dive in with us for 2 days has been in Atlantis, has been a priest or a priestess or a goddess or a healer, a sacred healer, a sacred grower of food. Everything and every step that so many of us took was together to create a community of optimal well-being. Now, I also remember when Atlantis drowned, and where we sent out our highest teachers to all parts of the land, carrying the sacred scrolls and bringing these ancient tools, these ancient mysteries around so they wouldn't be lost. And so today we stand on, as Alan mentioned, that threshold of the Great Awakening. We want to bring into being, into manifestation, that which we knew before, the skills, the memories, the tools, the transformations, that energy of when we walked with the divine, when we connected heaven and earth, when we were doing our highest, 15th dimensional life, that we were able to transmute energy. We were able to do things that today are considered almost impossible. So my feeling about this energy of what I'm going to be sharing is how to waken up those memories within you, and through a process of my art, which is just like this portal behind me, about stepping into the realms of Atlantis. So from that, as well as, sharing some dreams and visions that will help you awaken your own, so you can come away with that essence that I was there. I need these tools now. Bring it on now. And so it is. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you. And Tamara, I think
Tamara.
you were speaking last time about Atlantis, the good times. Was that you that said
That
that?
was me. Atlantis, the good times.
Tell us what happened there.
Let the good times roll.
Yeah. So we want to bring back the good times. First of all, thank you all for having me here today, and also speaking at the conference. I'm delighted and honored, and also to be in your presence. All of you are amazing, and love what you're doing with Portal to Ascension, with the YouTube channel, as well as the many, many, many events. So you are definitely a forerunner, Ascension ambassadors. Yay. So
Whoa.
you are, yeah, it's you all of you are amazing. So getting back to Atlantis, and as I'm putting it together, it's funny because I've had to really spend a lot of time looking at this and looking at my life there. And it's a strange thing. I've had so many like 375 hours of past life regression that I can just do it at will. And so what I try to look at with Atlantis is the good times, and before things went horribly wrong. And I do remember that as well, but we can also, like Alan said, learn from that. But the good times, I think why that's so important to us now and the people watching is, first of all, if it was, if Atlantis, the way I understand it, Atlantis was not just one spot, it was in different continents. Atlantis was the role model, but there were variations. It was almost 500,000 years it existed. So, we all kind of lived there at least once, probably more than that. And so during this time, we were integrated with other beings from other star systems, and it was very normal. And we knew certain ones that did certain things that specialized, and they would help us. And some were there. I mean, this has been wild. Thanks for asking me to speak, because whoa, I'm getting all this wild, amazing stuff. But the Hathors were there. We had an amphitheater. Domes were important. There was a lot of symbolism, and they were there admiring the beauty, because everything was in beauty. The food, the structure, technology, the beauty was very essential and important as far as the operation. As for me at that time, and I don't want to go into too much because you'll have to listen, but hopefully that all of our presence will be an activation for you that you can recall, because just our presence, not even just what we're saying, will help you recall, again, the good times, not the things where it went wrong, but the good times and the things that we can learn to bring back now and is innately a part of us. We just need to remember. But I will be speaking about how I was a high priestess. I was one of 12 that powered the city. Now, there were different structures and people did a lot of things, but my particular role, I helped power the city. I powered it through the elements, which was advanced technology, if you want to call it alien technology. I don't really like that word, but because they're us, but advanced technology, as well as we were source. We were so powerful that we were a source. We were like a battery, and we used the elements, air, wind, and fire, crystals, and so forth. Water was a big conduit, which is still a conduit, even with my own spirit work. Water is just very important. That's why you'll always see me drinking water. It's so important. But we had a city above and below, and I was one of the few that could shape shift at will. This was cool stuff. And I could live in the land equally as much as the water. And so I was able to be an oracle to both the top and the bottom. And there was a power that went through the bottom of the ocean. So we're going to talk about these things and some of the abilities and the technologies. And I'm just so grateful that I can speak to a community that is accepting with open arms about this, because secretly we all remember, and it's time that we use our supernatural abilities that's innate within us and not be fearful of them, but embrace them as part of our beingness and our higher self, so we can not depend on man for information, but depend on ourselves so we can connect to the divine, that divine part of ourselves. So my intention is that people recall who they are, own it fearlessly, boldly, and use it to be of service to others in love and unity.
Beautiful.
I can't wait. I feel like your sister, that I was there with you.
Oh, you were. We were petting that tiger. You were there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And another
Oh, yeah.
sister is Rada
Woo.
as well. So we want
Hey,
to
Radha.
bring
Hi.
Rada on. Hi, Rada. You are looking beautiful.
So happy to be here. I'm so excited about this. You know, when we just came on the call last time, just between us, I felt so many codes activating too, because, you know, that's what this is all about. And I think that's what people are going to be receiving are, you know, remembering and activating the Atlantean codes from the, like you said, the good times and the gifts that come with it. Like all of you, I've had these memories inside of me for a very long time. And I had this great fear of like tsunamis, and it was unreasonable. And I ended up living on the Malibu coast, right in front, right on the beach, on the water. And so I had to face that fear every day. And I actually got so much activation from that. And I had some really incredible experiences where I experienced some beings coming in and really healing my heart, because I believe that, you know, we've had our hearts broken many times, but the Atlantean timeline, when we fell, that was really a big heartbreak for all of us. And I think it was a time of separation. And now we're finding our way back home, right? We're all coming together. Thank you so much for creating Portal to Ascension, so we can really all come together and share and remember, because we're all, you know, we're all activating each other. That's what it's all about. And healing from the, I think there's also, you know, in some ways, there's still like that resentment, even if it's very subconscious. And I think part of healing is feeling to heal and acknowledging that, and also facing that, because if we just bypass that, then it's still lurking there. So I'd like to touch on that in my talk and my session, you know, bringing healing to the forefront so that we can come into forgiveness too, because, you know, at some level we did agree to that, knowing we'd come back together at this round table and across the world. You know, we would come together to remember, we'd come together to heal. And so in healing, we actually we start to unshackle these, I guess, you know, these old paradigms where we agreed to let a certain group come in and to, you know, it was a time of the fall. And so that time was planned, just like the time of the golden age is planned, and just like we're moving into, and this is all part of that divine plan, knowing that, you know, it has happened for a reason. So I think this is such an incredible opportunity to really come together and talk about it all, the good times and even the bad times, because we learn from that. And if we can soften into forgiveness and understanding how powerful we were all, and we still are, and that we are the ones we've been waiting for, and that through the forgiveness of our collective decision to experience that, we can also rise up again and remember the joy and bring back those good times that we all want, you know. So thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Radha. So beautifully said. I really, you know, the whole concept of feeling to healing, that's just so real. We need to, what I like to say as of recently is we need to step into the discomfort in order to really get the growth out of it, right? Instead of avoiding it. And so what does the ancient past have to do with the present moment? Well, ancient past, you know, there's so many lessons within there, so many ways and tools on how to navigate reality, right? Understanding the cycles of time, understanding the cataclysms that occurred and why certain things happen, and how we can actually avoid having those kind of situations happen again when it comes to our consciousness, when it comes to our level of technology and how we utilize it on the planet, and when it comes to the position of our solar system in our galaxy, when we get affected by galactic weather that creates cataclysmic events on Earth. We have the technology, we have the ability to avoid all these. And part of the fifth world being the etheric world, right? They say the fifth world where there was four destructions: earth, wind, fire, water. The fifth one is ether. The etheric one is not destructive. It's a transformative one. We take our bodies into this fifth world with us.
Mhm.
Part of that is not having to reset humanity, but having us continue in our physical bodies in this higher octave of existence, so that we can be the extraterrestrials to other worlds. I firmly believe
I
that
love
we
it.
are going to be the emissaries to other planets. And as Bashar said, and many others have said, that we will be going out and teaching people of how we transcended duality, how we found the light when the cards were stacked against us, right? How we remembered when we had amnesia. Okay, I was talking to someone today and about like how interesting it is that we come here with amnesia and wipe our memories clean, yet the spark of source is still within us that we still remember. It was almost like an experiment of, if we wipe ourselves clean of understanding and remembering this, is that sentient force of source so strong within us that it still comes out to the surface?
Mhm.
Okay, and the Atlantean story is the last cycle. Okay, that's why it's so important. We've gone through many cycles of consciousness, evolutions, devolutions. There are probably, I don't know, maybe countless civilizations that existed where we had these rises and falls. The Atlantean one is the most recent one. And what we're doing right now is we're healing from that, but we're also able to pull lessons in from it. We're able to cultivate that experience and that civilization on a whole new level, where we don't go down the route that they went down, because there were good times and then there was times when they fall, right? The fall from grace in the Bible has been reflected in many ancient civilizations, but one of those falls is the fall from Atlantis, right? And even before that, there's stories about the Earth's axis being straight. And then when there was some sort of experience that happened in the Younger Dryas period, some people say solar flares, some people say comet occurred on Earth, the axis of Earth tilted. That was a literal fall from grace, right? So this metaphorical concept of fall from grace is manifested literally onto this planet. And what we're going to do in this event is something that's never been done before, right? As far as I know, because I do a lot of research on what kind of events are out there. And the opportunity we've had with Portal to Ascension, which I so love, is the fact that we now have the ability to pick a topic, just one random topic, one little thing, and be like, let's dedicate 22 hours to this. So like, it's not going to be 22 hours, it'll be like 20 hours, maybe 2 hours less. But like, we did that with the Pleiadians, we're doing that with the dragons next year, a whole day conference on the dragons. And this is what's happening with Atlantis and Lemuria. We get to really do a deep dive, pun intended, into Atlantis to bring it up to the surface. And that's another metaphor in itself. We're bringing up Atlantis to the surface, but we're ultimately bringing up our shadow world to the surface. We're bringing up these traumas to the surface so that we can transcend and heal from them, because we're not able to take our luggage into the next dimension with us. Okay. The baggage that we have, the heaviness we have, the reason why there's so many experiences going on the planet, and we're going through these cycles, things that took a lifetime to experience, you're getting slapped in the face with that same experience 20 times a day. Okay. It's like nonstop stimuli all over the place. We're getting the opportunity to transcend and learn these lessons so many times. And it's literally the definition of insanity, because we keep going through this. And are we going to learn the lesson? And ultimately, what we are doing is we are transcending from those experiences, learning the lessons, and so that we can leave them here, and that we can grow and take the tools and the empowerment in the light into the next reality. So that's kind of the general concept of this conference. Portal2ascension.org is the website, and my talk is going to be on something I wanted to do for 6 years. I finally put together for this. It's called Atlantis, from Atlantis to Morocco. Okay, and it's going to show the trajectory of ancient Atlantis, and then the migration routes into Morocco, and all the evidence that is strewed all over the landscape of Morocco, including the Sahara Desert, that there's an Atlantean connection there, including giants. We're going to go over many deluge stories and talk about, wait a second, there was some sort of collective trauma that happened. There was a flood that occurred on the planet, and then track the evidence in Morocco, and ultimately really get deep into the Sahara Desert, because the Sahara Desert is actually the largest unexcavated place on the entire planet. And the reason why is, they say conventionally 13,000 years ago, we were primitive, we didn't have advanced structures. So why go ahead and look in the Sahara Desert when we know we're not going to find anything, because we were so primitive back then, we couldn't have built any great structures. But now we have LiDAR technology. And through LiDAR technology, we're blanketing the whole earth, including the Sahara Desert. And alongside the UFO stuff that's going on, the new understanding of our archaeological existence, and these discoveries that are occurring in remote areas in the world, we're going to be transforming the world very, very soon. The world as we know it is completely shifting faster than ever before. And I'm not one to ever come up with dates. I've been jaded and hurt from predictions too many times. But I'm telling you guys, like, we're at it right now. Something is going on this planet. And check out our YouTube channel if you want to see just some of the recent stuff. And it's really time for us to learn these lessons so that we can grow from it. There's AI going on. There's all these things happening on the planet. How are we going to be able to use these tools consciously? We need to do the inner work, right? So that's what this event's all about. And I'm just excited to be able to do it with some amazing people and really provide a full circle experience from it.
Great, Neil. That's a really good introduction to what's coming up this week.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. We also have someone from Damanhur, by the way, who's going to be speaking about the time travel that they did. They had a time travel that went back to Atlantis and then brought forward some of the most magnificent paintings of the actual structures as he saw it. So we have
Nice.
Other speakers who are going to bring different aspects of Atlantis. But as you can hear, this is so important to your soul, especially if you feel that call that you've been a goddess or a priestess or a healer, and you're awakening some of your ancient memories so that you can be of service in this life and raise those frequencies.
It's also good to get a sense of where we came from, because even though Atlantis may have fallen, it's genetically coded us to be more evolved people. So where we came out of that, some of our ancestors survived the flood there that swept, and then we can learn those lessons because they're in our genetics, and we have to recognize that we're encoded with that level of going to the next level of evolution. We're here to evolve, and we're, like I said in the beginning, we're at a crossroads, and we need the support of each other and all the great technologies, but not to let the technologies rule us. That's the thing with AI we're at now. Who's gonna be? Are we gonna let AI control us, or are we gonna control the tools we created? And that's what happened with Atlantis. It got out of control, and I don't think we'll make the same mistake, but it takes vigilance. Thomas Jefferson said the price of the freedom is constant vigilance, and that's freedom we want as awakening people. So anyone who wants to come to the Portal to Ascension Atlantis conference, it's in the chat here on if you're watching on YouTube, this is it here. Go to Portal to Ascension and look up Unleash the Secrets of Atlantis 2-day conference with Trisha McCann. She's an incredible wealth of knowledge. And who else? Flo, Karuna Sarian White, Tamara, who we're seeing there, Zoe Davenport, one of my favorite people, Sarah Berksman. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to her. She takes people back to those lifetimes. So $55 for 2 days, Neil, is $55?
Yep.
Great price.
Here's all our experts here.
And you get unlimited replay access to tune back at any time as well.
Experative from Damanhur. I've interviewed her.
Asperity. Yes.
Damanhur is sort of a kind of a modern day version of what the Atlantean council was like. So
a lot of them
She
there,
shows us
I
picture.
believe they had lives in Atlantis, right? Isn't that something to do with Damanhur?
they had what in Atlanta?
Yes. A lot of their technology in Damanhur is based on Atlantis. I think that Asperity is going to show us a lot of those pictures. But yes, their technology is Atlantean and star being.
Pictures.
So
You have to time travel back to Atlantis naked, so they can only describe the scenes that they witnessed there. And that's what Falco did when he time traveled supposedly back to Atlantis. And there were giant creations there. I think the structure under the Antarctica now is an Atlantean structure that happened.
Very possible. All right. Well, I think we're ready to say we'll see you this weekend on the Atlantean conference. Make sure you join us and really take a deep dive with us below the surface.
No, you don't want to go too deep into it. No, I'm kidding.
All right, well, it's this weekend, folks. So yes, sign up, register, and we'd love to see you there.
Thank you, Joan. Thanks, Neil, Tamara, Rada.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Y'all.
Catch you later. Bye.